Hey, welcome to another great and an amazing day to the Ronnie J Show. My name is Ronnie Jacobs, and I'm looking forward to us having a great show today, an amazing time together, and just learn together. Now, the essence and the main vision for this show is to educate you and to motivate you and to get you all gingered up and get you all mentally ready for your dream. Whatever dream you want to achieve, whatever it is that thing is in your mind that you really want to get to and you want to achieve, it is my dream and my vision to help you, to build you, and to guide you and bring professional people around that will help you achieve that. So, as I always say, get your pen and paper ready and let's boogie down. Today, we've got some amazing guests with us today. We've got great people and great minds who are going to be talking in details with us. We got Bunmi coming up. We got Joshua. We got Emily. We've got Chooks. We got Esther, and then we've got Julie, and we've got all these amazing 6 guests, and they're going to share their experiences because we'll be talking about a very important topic in business. We're talking about how to work with people. How do you work with people? In every sphere, in whatever it is you're going to be dealing with, in every area of your life, unless you live in space, even in space these days, they pair you with somebody else. In every sphere of your life, you're going to have to deal with people. You have to work with people. We all have to learn how to work with people. We all have to learn how to get along with people. Sometimes we might not like the people in our team. Sometimes you might just not even get on with these people in your team. You might just hate each other. There must be like serious conflict between one person and the other. Have you ever been in those teams where there's always somebody, talking about other people behind their back and making the whole place uncomfortable? I got enough stories. I'll tell you a story before we call our guest. But hopefully our guests can give us some insights and education, and then we can learn from that. I want to start by saying a few things, okay? Because we're a learning program, and the essence of what we're saying is for us to learn from each other and educate each other and learn from each other so that we'll be motivated to deal with our challenges. I got 3 things that I always say, when it comes to managing and working with people. Especially at events, you have to work with loads of people, both volunteers and paid staff, and your vendors, and also the people you book in the venue with, and your contractors. You got so many people you have to work with. And there are 3 things that always keeps me going. I have to write them down. Number 1, you have to take a stand. You have to say, listen, this is my position on this particular policy or principle or values or how you work. People need to know and understand you for your values of how you work. You need to have a stand. You need to have a position that you start from. And I'm not saying that you always stick to your stand and you're not flexible. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is there needs to be whoever's working with you needs to have an image and picture of you, of how you behave and your character and how you conduct business and how you communicate with people and how you respect people. So whoever's doing business with you needs to have that understanding, needs to have that already before they approach you. They know at the back of their head that this guy, this is his position. So we're going to have to work together. I'm going to have to understand his position and you understand their position. So that way, if people are working for you, they make sure they don't break your values or the values of the organization that you have set. Another number 2 thing is you have to really be honestly connected with people. If you're working with your team, don't be fake. Don't project a fake self. Don't be jack of all trade. You are different things to different people. Oh, sorry, that's not the right word. You are the plaster for every soul. That ain't possible in reality. Okay, just be truly connected with people. Understand with what people are going through. Try to know your team and the people that you're working with. Try to know about their life outside work. What are they going through? What challenges are they facing? What difficulties are they going through? What successes are they having? How is their family life? How is their kids? How is their home? Try to get a picture. If you're a leader in an organization, try and know as much as you can about people that you work with. I understand that if you have so many people working for you, that is difficult, but at least the core of your team, you should know a little bit more about them. Why is that important? I tend to believe that if you want to put together a successful program, the people who are putting that program for you, they're smiling and they're having fun. It should be genuine. If somebody who's got serious problems at home and they come to work, they could trip at any moment. Little things could just trigger them. You might say something that means A and they'll read it as B because they've got issues at home that they're dealing with. But if you understand those issues and you know what they're going through, two of you will be able to work together because you're connected. You will know how to say things that you would have just said on a normal day. You know how to phrase those things for them to still get their job done. Because that's what you want. You don't want to bruise their emotions. You want them to get their jobs done. And the third thing that I always try to stick to is I need to be able to manage myself. I need to be able to manage myself in the means of chaos, in the means of success, in the means of everything going well and the means of everything not going well. I should be able to manage myself. I need to know what my job role is, what my activities are, and then manage those things. Because if I do my part well, it is easier to manage your team and work within a team if you're managing your activities well. If, for example, you're in a team and you've got different tasks that you've been assigned to do, if you're not delivering on your roles, delivering on your task, you tend to find that you become very defensive. And why you're defensive is because you're trying to be defensive to protect people from attacking you and saying that you're the one that's done something wrong. Oh, it's not my fault. Then you start blaming other people because you haven't actually delivered on your activities. So and I just add this extra. I used to really kick myself when sometimes some of you who come to my events and will realize is there might be one or two things that I forget to do. And some of my team will go, "Oh, Ronnie, but you should have done that." I just smile. You know the reason why I smile? There's only so much that one person can do. There's only so much that you can do. So you have to delegate. There's only, and apart from that you have your strengths and you have your weaknesses. You ensure you deliver on your strengths. Then those things that are your weaknesses are the things that you should delegate to other people. When you try to do everything, then you mess everything up. And by doing that, you create tension and you're not managing your activities, and then you're causing more difficulties for your team. And the ripple effect just goes from one person to the other. So 3 things that I try to do to get me better in managing and working with people. Number 1, I take a very clear stand when it comes to principles, policies, values, and character. I have a very clear stand, where I sit. Number 2, I try as much as possible to connect genuinely and open with the people that I work with. And number 3, I make sure I do my best to manage my activities. This is my responsibility. This is my core responsibility. I do my best to manage it. So that way it is easier for my team around me to work. Yes, there are going to be things within my core responsibility and activities that I might not do well, but those are my weaknesses. So now I need to start learning. Okay, since I'm not, for example, for those of you who know me, when it comes to providing, remembering to providing food for for my people working backstage, it's something I always forget. So I always delegate that to somebody else and say, "Listen, you do that," because I know if I do it, I'm not gonna do it well because me and food, I just don't know how to do it. So I look for somebody who knows how to do that and get them to do it. Amy always helps me. Amy is a fantastic lady. She always helps me with that. So I give her a big shout out. All right, let's give our first guest a call today. We are going to be talking with Julie, and Julie is an amazing lady. She does amazing events. Excuse me. And here we go. It's raining in London today, so I hope you all are keeping safe and not getting wet. And there we go. Yeah, we're good to go. Hi, it's Ronnie here. How are you?
Hi, Ronnie. Julie here. How are you?
I am buzzing. Is it raining where you are?
Not at this particular moment, but yes, it is. It has been raining quite heavily.
I know, very, very, very heavily. I've had to pull all the shades down and everything. How are you anyway? You're right.
Yes, had a lovely week. Well, actually, of course, we didn't do last week's show because we were both feeling a bit under the weather, weren't we?
I know. How are you feeling now, though?
I'm fine now. Yes, I think I didn't feel very well. I've had just a bit of tummy bug, really, but I'm fine now. Fine.
I just needed to rest. I think I just had
Well, I think that was my problem as well, Ronnie. I think you and I are very much alike. We tend to burn the candle both ends, don't we?
Not a good
and sooner or later that fire's going to meet in the middle.
Anyway, please tell our listeners a bit about you before we crack on, please.
Okay, I'm Julie. I'm 60 years of age. I'm a bit of an entrepreneur. I'm an author of children's books. And of course, I'm an events manager as well, an organizer, which I absolutely adore doing.
And you're very good at it. Very good, very good.
Thank you.
Right, today we're talking about...
I love helping you out, actually. It's brilliant.
I know. I always remember that one. There's a show we did in Stratford. We did 2 shows on the same day. Can you remember that show?
Oh, we did, yes.
We're all knackered at the end.
Talk about being thrown in at the deep end.
Thanks all the way. So we're talking about how to work well with people today.
Yeah. Working well with people. Well, what do I say? I love people. So, and everybody who knows me knows that I'm a people person. And I think, there's a secret to being a people person. And I think you've used that in your introduction there. And it's smile. There's that old sort of little, what is it, like a proverb, or not really a proverb from the Bible, but it says, give a smile and you'll get one straight back, and you do usually, don't you? You know, and I think that is the softener, that is an introduction. A smile is a smile in any language. And and once that's the beginning of a communication, to smile and let people know, that you are fond, that you want to get to know them. So I think when it comes to working with people, you have to make sure that you know who you are as well, as an individual. You have to have a set of standards in all businesses, in your life. You have to have your own standard. And so once people know your standard, and you stick to that standard, you know that they know where you are. So they know they can trust you or not, and it doesn't matter what your standard is, it's your standard. Obviously maybe not the same as other people's standards. Like, for instance, people who've known me for years know that I do not smoke. There you go. That's the standard I've set. I do not smoke. I don't like being around people who smoke. When they're smoking, I should say. So there's things like that. And once you've set your standard, as I say, people know where they stand with you.
I think that's a very, very important value, because for me, I'm a very time conscious person. If we say we start at 4, we start at 4. If it's one person on that table, on that chair, we start at 4. I don't have to wait. And so people over time, people get to know that is your standard and that's your value, and they just walk around it.
That's it. And you get a lot of respect.
Yeah.
When you set a standard and you stick by that standard, you get respect for it, no matter what it is.
True.
And even if people don't agree with that standard, they know that it's your standard. So you get that respect from people that may not like that standard,
Yeah.
Another thing I think when you want to get on with people and people you work with is to make sure that you use good manners around people. Always say thank you, always say please, always ask and not order. And when you're delegating, make sure you're giving people clear and precise instructions, but with use manners. It costs nothing to be polite.
But how would you manage? How would you work with people who are very difficult though?
Oh dear, I try not to be honest.
You got this person that's come to you, so I'd like to volunteer help you in your show. You go, all right, okay. And she walk in, the first thing is like
there are people who are difficult, but if you think about it, I might be difficult for some people, and I think basically, working with somebody that's difficult, I don't like to say difficult, just different. So
you sound politically correct there, because there are people who are very difficult to work with.
Well, yeah, there are people that are difficult, but it's only purely because they have their different standards.
Okay, they've got a different view on things, yeah.
So it's best to try and surround yourself and work with people who are like-minded, and then there is no conflict. And if you do find somebody in your travels or on your events or wherever that you don't like to work with, don't work with them. It's as simple as that. Don't work with them again. Get through that day, that assignment as best you can. If there's too much of a conflict of interest, then thank you, but not again. But still, no need to get irate or angry or cross. And be polite, because I think that's part of my standards, is I am a polite person as well, and I don't order, I ask. I like to delegate. I might be, in some terms, I might be a bit bossy, but
well, you have to be. You have to take your stand. I mean, that's the leadership in you, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to be in control.
Yeah.
And somebody has to lead, and some people will have to follow. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But that's basically really. I always like to make sure I find the good and the nice in people.
Yeah.
And when they do something, no matter how small, if they move a chair out of your way or say, just be thankful, and compliment that person on thinking.
Well, how do you? Sorry to interrupt you. How do you select people to work with you?
Well, in my travels up and down the country, as lots of people, we meet different people.
True.
And with some people, you will automatically click, for want of a better word. And so you get contacts, you gain contacts, you meet with those people. Now with social media, we can talk to people for quite a few, for a while, for weeks, months, years. Yeah. Then meet up and find it's brilliant. We've got the same standards, we enjoy the same things, and I think that's it. If I'm working with somebody on one of their events and I'm helping with the events and I come across people like that, I will take their contacts, because contacts are good. True. And they're new friends. And once you find out about that person, if they have the same interests, I've just been put in touch with somebody who someone thought that we might be compatible for event management and organising. And he was really right. He knew me, he knew him. He put us together, and now we've got this big event that we're trying for 2022. We're going to take a team to Los Angeles and do an event there.
Here we go. I'm volunteering myself,
Fantastic. So that's it. We've discovered that we have this interest that we both want to do an event in Los Angeles. And we hadn't come together, we didn't know each other, but we had this hour-and-a-half discussion. And partway through, he said to me, well, what ambition, what other things do you want to do? And I said, well, I really would love to do a fashion event in Los Angeles. And immediately he said, wow, that's exactly what I want to do. So now we're gearing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know. But that was through somebody else putting us two together who saw the two personalities and thought, actually, they'd make a good team.
Fantastic. Well done. Thank you so much. Time flies when we're having fun, as usual.
All right, then, yeah. We're having a great time. And, well, lockdown is fabulous, really, isn't it, when you think of it?
Yeah, we've made the best out of it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for having me, Ronnie.
You too. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Enjoying the show, and love to you, and I'll speak to you next week.
And you too. Bye. Say hello to your hubby for me. Bye. Ooh, the amazing Julie. That was really great. So, two key things there. Give clear instructions. She said, always smile, know your standards, have your standard, and always use good manners. Okay, next we are talking to Esther. We're talking to Ester Akin-George, a fantastic lady who continuously amazes me with her teaching skills. And I always say to her that, this is a new part of Esther that I'm coming to get to know, the teaching part of Esther. So she might have to go and get a part-time teaching.
Good afternoon, Ronnie.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to hear you laughing. Why are you laughing so hard?
I was just telling the audience that you're so good at teaching, you might go get a part-time teaching course.
Oh my gosh, no. I've already been there for long enough. I'm not teaching anymore. Not for now.
It's amazing to hear from you, man. How are you? You okay?
I'm good. How are you doing, more importantly? How are you doing?
I think I have fully recovered. I went for a jog yesterday, went for a jog again today.
Awesome.
And
you sound very alive.
Yeah. It's just rest. Listen, Esther, it's just rest. I just needed to just learn how to say no. Just say no.
Absolutely.
Because it was really ripping me. I was like 24/7 on different webinars and different meetings. Yeah. It was just...
Yeah. It's a bit much. We all need it. Yeah. Even I need it. So I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to you. So don't worry.
Yeah, fantastic. We have to take that rest, otherwise.
Definitely.
Anyway, tell our audience about you, so I don't use all your time to just chat.
That's okay. Not a problem. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther. I'm a business owner. I own a health, wellness, and beauty business. I'm also, by profession, I'm an educator. So that's probably why I'm always in some kind of a zone. But I show people how to become financially free, as in to earn a residual income through what they're doing anyway. So the business is very equipped to all areas of your life, basically. And I show you how to get paid for doing what you do anyway.
Amazing. Today we're talking about how to work well with people. So you're a people person, so
definitely. So, I'm learning the business thing still.
That's it. So how should people get well in their team? Let's start with that. Working with the team, within the team.
I think the most important thing in anything is always about listening, because especially in a business world, you are meeting people from all walks of life, and you're meeting people with all different skill sets. So as you are building a team, you are getting to know people. So it's about listening and getting to know them as a person, and then drawing on their strengths so that each person within that team is giving value to the team. Because then everyone feels right. Oh, good. I'm being listened to. And especially with what I do, it's very much a people business. We are powered by people. So you have to have that relationship. You have to know somebody. It has to come from that heart first. And the team will flow, because people will have that respect for one another and for yourself, for obviously giving them that time. So I think that's really, really important.
So how do you cope with conflict? How do you cope with... It's a very common phenomenon whereby when people see you maybe progressing or doing well within the team, they want to kind of backstab you or kind of gossip and trash you. And how do you deal with that kind of situation?
Well, for me, I walk away. I take a mental vacation. That's one thing that someone very, very wise said to me. Take a mental vacation from people sometimes. And if somebody is not um, of a positive and empowering nature, then obviously they don't need to be in your space or in your team. And I think it's very important that you actually give each other that respect, because it is very unfair when you have people coming in and thinking that they know everything. Because I definitely don't, and I wouldn't want to belittle somebody's skills or their views, for instance. And you don't have to agree with everyone, but you do have to give them that respect that their view is just as important as yours. It may not actually be in that particular situation that thing that their view may be right, but you also have to have a way in which you speak to them, and not in a condescending way either. And as far as jealousy and things like that, I love the fact that I don't have that worry anymore, because I know exactly what that's like. When you've been in environments, I've worked in a school setting and those sorts of things where somebody will always be trying to get ahead or trying to get rid of all the stuff that you've been doing and all the positivity that you've been doing. But I always say to anyone that you have to just be you. You stay in your lane and just focus on yourself. As a member of a team, you benefit by just allowing other people to also be themselves, so that you can all interact and actually produce something amazing, because you're all giving your own views, and you're then molding it into something that becomes amazing, because then everyone has a participation, and then you eliminate that aspect of competition and whatever, because it's more about team building, doing things together, learning about one another and so forth. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds all nice and sweet. You understand?
Yes, it does.
But the reality is, you sit there at this meeting, in your meeting, and you got this one person who just won't stop talking, who seems to know everything. You got this other person who seems to don't talk at all. And then you got this other person, whenever he says, they always make him feel as if he ain't got a clue what he's talking about. And then there are different characters in this team, obviously. But my question is, if I'm in a meeting and this person just won't shut up, I mean, how do I deal with that?
I just can't lose it is very difficult to be abrupt, but I think also I use a lot of facial expression. Sometimes they say less is more, and a word to the wise. So, sometimes you just have to just break that cycle, for, just whatever it takes, whether it's just just to
that's not nice. I mean, I hate that, really. Lifting your eyebrows and
it's not a nice thing, but the worst thing to do is actually say to somebody, can you shut up?
Yeah, but you can politely kind of put it in a polite way. So listen, man, I think other people need to have a say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you're not the only one in the room, are you? Go on.
Absolutely. I mean, I was actually gonna, I tend to clear my throat just to be heard, just to be seen. So that person just focuses on me, and then I would just say, would it be okay for the team or the group to actually have a say, and then we can discuss this a bit further, because you're still giving value to them. You're not actually telling them to just completely be quiet, but you want to hear the other views of the team so that you can all balance it out.
Correct.
So that's where that's what I would do personally. Because you need to still, as much as they're saying everything, sometimes it comes from nerves, sometimes it comes from nobody else ever hears me, so I'm in a team where people can hear me now. So you don't know what it is that's driving that person as well. So I think we have to be mindful, like you say, not to be disrespectful in the sense of putting someone down also.
Obviously.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. So what's happening for Ester 2020?
Ester 2020, Ester, just reaching for the skies, growing, meeting more people, and just building an amazing business and connecting with people as well. Because what I do is very different to just a traditional business. It's more about helping people and generally seeing where you can be of great need. And for me, that is priceless.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I'm scheduling a long 1 hour show for all my guests, and hopefully before the end of the year we'll get through it, and then so that way we can go into detail of what you do and how that can change people's lives. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Take care of you.
You're welcome,
thank
darling.
you guys.
Have
a wonderful day.
And you
all
too.
right.
Ciao.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was amazing. Esther, she talked about you need to be able to listen. You need to be able to know each other more. So know each other more keeps coming up. That's the third time we've talked about it now. So next we're going to call the fantastic event planner, our sister Bunmi, and she is, I'm so proud of her. She just started this new broadcasting program, and so, well, I watched a little bit of it and it was really interesting. So well done to her for kicking that off, Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's Ronnie.
Hello.
Live on air. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You?
I am buzzing. I'm enjoying your show, but
thank you.
Somebody might have to be next to you to translate, when you start speaking in your language, your Yoruba. I wish I could understand what she's saying. It was really good.
Well, whatever I say Yoruba, I always try to interpret anyway.
Okay.
In English, most of the time because as I said, the target audience is mostly Yoruba.
Yes.
And the flyer did say we're going to be having the show in both languages. So
amazing, well done.
Yeah.
So what's the show about? Just let our viewers know. Just give them a little bit of an idea of what the show is about, please.
The show is talking about traditional weddings all over the world, most especially Nigerian traditional weddings, and the culture. What used to be acceptable in those days, and what is not acceptable nowadays. And of course, enlightening people what they can do, and what how they can have each free traditional weddings, and encouraging the young ones. Like yesterday we talked about interracial marriages and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So if people would like to watch the program, when and how can they get access to watch it?
It's gonna be on my profile page and on Instagram, most especially. I think it's the best place to go is on Instagram.
Okay.
Because on Instagram, when I bring in my guests, you can see their faces. They are on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, but when my guests, you can see my guests face to face. Okay. And you can always call in to have your say. Oh,
brilliant. Amazing. Well done. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
We're trying to be like you now, you see.
We're learning from you. I'm learning from you,
amazing.
Man.
Today we're talking about how to work well with people.
Yeah.
And this ties in very closely with your profession because you do a lot of weddings. And so how does this work? What's the best examples you can give to help our listeners to work well with people?
Well, I think the most important thing to that is respect. You have to have respect for whoever you're working with. And when I say respect, some people, a lot of people have mentioned that among the earlier people that you talk to, you don't order people around. People love to be respected, no matter how least you think what they're doing for you is. You think they're doing the least of things. People want to be respected. People want to be trusted as well. But at the same time, you have to stand your ground, which people have mentioned. You have to be firm when you're talking to people, especially when it comes to events. If you're not firm, sometimes things can really be messy. So don't be afraid to stand your ground. Lead by example as well. When people know that this person does not, lay lazy around, or this person is a very detailed person, people will respect you for that, and they will want to do the same. Some people, they're not showing examples. They just laid back. So as a result of that, people will handle your event just the way you also do it. And another thing I want to say is, make sure you pay the people, maybe whether in cash or in kind. It's very important. People want reward. When I say pay people in cash if you can, and if you cannot pay people in cash, try and pay them in kind, even if it is compliments, acknowledging what they're doing to you. Some people just use people, order them around, and they use all their energies or their ideas and everything, and then dump them without saying thank you or showing any gratitude, or at least paying them in a way or two. That can actually, that can really affect the way people relate to you. They see you as a user, and they're never going to take you seriously. So, and another thing is with the fashion show and all, we have a lot of volunteers. Try to relate with people outside your event. Some people, once they finish their event, they forget about everybody that volunteered. They forget about everybody that participated. They don't care. They just walk past you on the street. Some, even when you say hello to them, they don't recognize you. You feel so used, I volunteered in your show. I put a lot of effort in your event, and you see me, you walk past me, you don't even recognize me. Or I put stuff on social media, you don't even click like, you don't even acknowledge it. That's not very nice. So relate with people outside your event,
So how do you deal with negative or people who always have something to say about everything?
Well, there's always something good about everybody. One thing I try to do is I try to enjoy people's strength and manage or tolerate their weakness as much as it's tolerable. Some weaknesses are not tolerable. They are quite, people are high and toxic. For people like that, I keep them. I don't fight them. I don't fight nobody. I try as much as possible to quietly and stylishly and wisely, cleverly excuse myself from that person without necessarily giving that person an impression that the person is bad. I have a very good and polite way of walking away. Very, very good. I'll give you an example. Someone once took part in my event. She took a very prominent role in my event. And then the following, she gave me a lot of trouble after that. She kept on referring to it, an ingrate, And I was trying as much as possible to show this person how grateful I was and everything. And the person was on high demand. It was almost like the person now had a remote control, wants to control me just because she had taken part in my event. And the early little thing, this person was ready to go and put write-ups on, and that's something I hate in my life. When you start putting my name on social media, I don't like it. So I had to kind of stylishly, with all politeness and everything, get away from this person. I'm still in contact with the person, but it's at a arm's length because I can tell that person is ready for trouble anytime, any day. And they are the people that don't care to smash your reputation. They don't mind. They don't mind to scatter your reputation. So people like that, you have to be careful. Tread carefully with them. Don't make them look so bad because they have a good part in them. And that's why I say enjoy their strength, tolerate their weaknesses. If it's too toxic, avoid them, but in a very clever way. Don't be confrontational and say, well, I don't care. No, because they've been useful to you one time or the other. That's what I do. I don't have any enemy in this industry. I don't know if anybody has me as an enemy, but I know that I don't have anybody as an enemy. Not because they haven't done anything bad to me, but because I've tried and stylishly, politely, quietly just, run away from them.
I like the way you're phrasing that. Stylishly, politely, and gently, just carry your problem and go.
Yes. Because what those people tend to want to do is they want to bully you.
They drain your energy. That's the worst part.
They want to bully you into doing what you don't want to do. And they want to make you look bad when they are actually the one that are bad. But the thing is, if you want to fight a dirty person that is ready to go in the mud, and you go in the mud with them, nobody's going to know the difference. So you have to be careful. So those people don't drag you down into the mud. So you have to be careful. Like those people like that, they don't have reputations to protect. Everybody knows them anyway. But I don't have to be on their list of people that, they say, she's had problem with this person. I don't want my name to be mentioned.
So basically what you're saying is when there's a negative energy, so when you have a member of the team who constantly brings in negative energy, it's best to remove that person from that team.
If you can manage them, if you can tolerate them, if it's not so bad, yes, you can manage them and kind of, have a way of tolerating them while not allowing them to take over or infecting others with their negative energy. But if they're not manageable, run away from them, but in a very polite way.
Yeah.
I have a lot of trouble.
Go on. Go ahead.
I have a lot of troublesome members of my team, very, very troublesome, but they are very useful in other aspects that I can't afford to lose them. So I just kind of manage them, and tolerate them, because losing them also will affect me. So there are some people like that.
However, don't have too many
no, I don't have too many
negative people. Don't have too many around.
Well,
like that.
yeah, with that person,
energy.
She's very manageable anyway.
Okay.
So
Okay,
there's something called patience. Sometimes you override them with your patience, and your maturity as well. I always manage to bring them back to their senses most of the time.
All right.
Amazing.
And
that doesn't mean
our time is gone. You won't believe it.
Oh my God! All right, it's been amazing. I just want to say one last thing before I leave. Just insist on your plan. A lot of people want to come in to change your plan. Never, ever allow them to change your plan. You have your plan. Don't let them change it. People are very good at doing that. Insist. You have to insist. That is very, very important.
I love that.
And then give people compliments. It's important.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm so proud of what you're doing, and keep pushing that program. And my tip for you, every time you want to go on your program, question yourself, how innovative can I make this better?
Yeah.
Every single time. What can I do to make the innovation of this program better? Every single episode. And after 6 months, you will look back, you'll be on CNN.
Oh, thank you. Amen to that. Amen. Thank you so much.
Take care.
And you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, amazing. Sorry, Emily, we have we're running a bit late, so forgive me. We are coming straight to you now. We're having a great time, and we've got a marathon show today. We're talking about how to work with people, and I love the way that my guests are using true life examples to explain this matter, because it's important. We can just be talking from textbook, but it won't make sense. Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi, Ronnie. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm sorry I'm 2 minutes late. I'm so sorry. We were just chatting
away. I can forgive you.
So how are you? You okay?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Yes.
Amazing. Your phone's so clear. That's beautiful.
Is it?
Wow.
Oh, big up the Google phone.
Fantastic. Please tell our audience a bit about you before we carry on.
So my name is Emily Blake. I'm a presenter, model, singer. Also work as a mentor in schools and supply teacher. I think that's it. And I've competed in national and international beauty pageants.
Amazing. So how do you work well with people? I've worked with you. First of all, before I start, I've worked with you, and I'm sure you didn't know this. There was a particular show. This was about 2 years ago. And you were presenting in that show. And trust me, you just sat down and everything was going on. You just sat down, Ronnie, what you want me to do? You just did exactly what I wanted you to do. There was no stress. I got home and I said, what a wonderful lady that is. Call just smiling, and you get up and do it, even among the chaos. Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate that, Ronnie. Thank you. Yes, to be honest, I just try and stay cool and calm and relaxed. I'm naturally quite laid back, but certainly in a professional situation, I make an effort to ensure that I keep calm. And the events are going to be so much smoother if you've got someone, particularly in my job, who's hosting. It's my job to be the face really of the occasion, so I have to make sure that I'm calm and everything's running smoothly, and for me, I take everything in my stride. I'm open to anything happening. You have to be prepared. You have to be open for things to go wrong, and you have to be flexible and able to deal with that and have that confidence in yourself that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. So I think that's what keeps me so calm is just having that, knowing that I will be okay, regardless of what happens.
So what would you say are the key attributes to working with people? If you work in a team of people to deliver something, for you personally, what attributes do you think that are key to work in a team?
yeah, I think you need to be friendly, approachable, and open. Like I say, open to working with people regardless of their backgrounds,
Yeah.
And open to change. And I think just being friendly and positive is really key. Um, for me, I don't really run into problems of working with people. Obviously, there can be conflict and things, but as long as you just try and remain as positive as possible, and I think the number one thing is listening and making sure that you are listening to listen and not to respond. And I think that's when people trip up.
Yeah. Please explain that to my audience, because I got what you said, but I just want them to understand what that really means.
Yeah, so make sure that when someone's speaking to you, whether it's just a conversation about, it could be about how the event is going to go, for example, or it could be someone's giving you constructive criticisms or feedback. Ensure in that conversation that you are really putting a conscious effort in to listen to that person, listen to what they're saying, take it in, rather than, which a lot of people do, it is wait until it's their turn to speak. So rather than listening, you're actually just thinking about how you're going to answer. You're ready with your next argument or your point, but actually you need to be just listening, taking it in, and then responding with really what that person has tried to get across to you.
We talked a little bit about how to deal with conflict, and if you're in a team, especially in the industry that you're in, there is a lot of backbiting, a lot of side talk, a lot of everyone's trying to be the best, and everyone's trying to overtake the next person. How do you deal with all that chaos?
Oh, I think, Ronnie, I learned the hard way. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Oh, it particularly in this industry when we're all creative and we've all got ideas, and there is that element of competition and people wanting to be the best and the first and not allowing other people to shine. For me, I think there's room for everyone, so relax and do your thing, and we can all do our thing, right? We can all shine. But for me, I did experience the nasty side of it, the backstabbing, and someone was basically trying to pull me down and take work from me and all these different things. But if and I dread to think what that person said about me to other people. But for me, I don't think that anyone could say, having worked with me personally, actually meeting me in person, would be able to say that we haven't got on or things didn't go well. But unfortunately, there are some people who want to make you seem bad to other people so that they can take from you.
How did you overcome that, though? Did you really believe in your good qualities, or it messed up your mind, or how did you overcome that?
Yeah, it really got to me. It really did. And I think because I've gone through bullying in school, and I thought that was in the past. I didn't think I would experience it as an adult from another adult, and it really just took me by surprise and got me quite down. And I think, if that was to happen again now, I'd be so much more prepared, and I would know to just keep focused and not to pay it any attention, because the more attention you give these things, the more fuel you're actually giving them, and that's taking away from your energy. So I definitely learnt the hard way with that one, Ronnie. But
I know. I remember the incident you're talking about, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. But you came out of that, and you got stronger. You learned from that, and as you said, you said something very critical. Your eyes should always be on your goal.
Yes.
That's the key, because all these are just distractions to take our attention away from where we want to go.
Exactly. And then that person's going to end up winning because, your energy has gone to the wrong place. So, keep doing what you do and don't let anyone, come and steal that light from you.
No worries, no worries. We've got an amazing. Actually, I'm giving officially on air. We've got an amazing program next year. 3 days. It's going to be outdoor in a massive festival, and we're going to play a key part in that. So let's just keep praying for each other and have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much, Ronnie.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much. Tell us about your show. I just watched. We still got 1 minute. There's a show that I keep getting messages on my inbox. What is it about? Tell our audience.
Yes, so we've been doing the Pandemic Diary every morning at 11, broadcasting on YouTube, and we've just been interviewing amazing guests. Like today we had a professional ex-cricketer, Monty, and we had an ex-Paralympian. You know, we're speaking to really amazing people. Unfortunately, tomorrow is our very last show, but people can tune in and watch us live at 11 and then catch up all the other episodes.
Okay, where can they tune in? Where can they watch it?
So if you search for the Pandemic Diary on YouTube, will pop up. The channel is called Video Index.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well done, and keep dreaming.
You too. Thank you, Ronnie. Always a pleasure.
And you too. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Ooh, that was amazing, Emily. And always a pleasure talking to you. And this got a great show. Go on you can just type in Emily Blake and you see the program that we're talking about. So now let's try and make a long distance call all the way to Nigeria, and let's hope that the network connects. We've got another gentleman called Joshua who's always with us and always gives us enough education. But if not, if he doesn't connect today, we can just do a recap on where we are. This is multitasking, you know, trying to do a lot of things in different ways. Okay, so I don't think that's connecting. Good. So today, we've still got one more guest to go. We've got Chuks that we'll be talking to in 10 minutes. So before that, let's just give ourselves a recap of where we are and what we have been talking about today. I started off by saying that for me, there are 3 key principles that I follow, that I try to follow, keep working on to help me to be better at delivering my role in a team. We're talking about how to work well with people. I mentioned 3 things. I talked about, number 1, have a clear stand. People should know what you stand for. I think everybody that works with me, they know one thing about me. I'm very conscious about time. If we say we start at 2 o'clock, we start at 2 o'clock. Not 2:05, not 2:10. No, it's 2 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock. If it's one person there, we start at 2. So that way, over time, people have come to know that, if only slates an event for 2 to 4, it starts at 2. And then it may run over a little bit. I put my hand up on that because something might happen during the event that just makes it go a bit, but not more than half an hour though. You know, otherwise then you just really, taking the liberties. The number 2, stay truly connected to the people that you work with. I think Bunmi also mentioned that. If you're working with people, if you have people in your team that you're working together, it should not just be that they come to your show, they help you and they work in your show, and then you don't see each other again until your next show. You don't communicate with each other until your next program. That feels, if that was me, I'll feel very, very used. There was a show I went to help out with. I remember this. And after the show, I supported this person. And then after the show, there was no text, there was no thank you, there was nothing. And I felt really bad because I just thought, maybe, and funny enough, they might have just forgotten. Okay, I'm not saying they deliberately didn't call or whatever. I'm just saying they might have forgotten. But I used that example to challenge myself to say, listen, if you feel in this way, that means the people that help and support at your programs, at your shows, feel the same way. So take that as a lesson. Stay connected with people in your team. If you work in a team, get to know these people. Get to know their names, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts. Just get to know a little bit about them outside the working environment. So that way you can talk better, you can communicate better, you can deal with issues better. There's no personal issues that are coming into you, 2 of you discussing a matter at work. And number 3, be able to manage my activities. if I've got specific roles I need to deliver, I need to make sure that I'm able to deliver my specific roles. My strengths in the areas I deal with. My weakness, I look for people within my team to help me to manage those weaknesses. It is not a bad thing. The days of, whoa, what are your weaknesses? My weaknesses are the things that I give to people who are good at to do. I focus on delivering my strengths, and where I am weak, I ask for people who are great at those areas to do them. That is business sense. So please don't feel bad and say, oh, I'm crap at this. Yeah, you're crap at this, but you're great at this. The things that you're crap at doing, excuse my language, you give it to people who are good and let them do it for you. Okay, we spoke with Julie, and Julie talked about give very clear instructions when you're working with people. Make sure when you're giving directions, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, especially in the thick of the moment, you want to be very clear so that you don't repeat yourself 100 times. Listen, could you please go and stay at the front to make sure everybody who is coming in, they show their ticket and is signed off. You give like baby step information that is very clear if that person is just coming into your team for the first time. Obviously, they should have had this information before that, but I'm just using that as an example, okay? Make sure your information is very clear. Julie also talked about always use good manners. When you're communicating with people, speak to people nicely, man. Come on. There's no need to shout. There's no need to... Some people will listen to me and think, but Ronnie, you're always shouting. No. There's a difference between staying firm and shouting. When you stay firm, what you believe in, listen, I don't want that thing there. I don't want it there. And then someone's really trying to, impose on you to put it there, and it shouldn't be there. I don't want it there. Just take it off, please. That's being firm. Okay, you might get offended by it, but at the end of the day, I know the reason why I'm leading you not to put that thing there. We talked about with Esther talked about listening. We have to learn to listen. When we're communicating with people, we have to listen. We'll listen. The more we listen, the more we're able to communicate back. But Emily emphasized strongly about listening. Don't just listen for the sake of waiting to ask your own questions. Listen because to understand what they're talking about. What exactly is this person trying to communicate to me? You take it all in. You could even take a breath, and then give your own say. You don't just listen and bang. That's there. Then she talked about being confident to deal with issues. When you're dealing with issues, try to be as much confident. When you're talking in confidence, it exudes in your team. Your team can feel your confidence. Your team can feel how confident you are and how brave you are and how knowledgeable you are. And they feel all these things. And then these are the things that gives them a more motivation. And Julie is having a show in Los Angeles. So that's amazing. So if you would like to go to Los Angeles with her, please get in touch and go. I think I'll be on that flight 2 years from now. Count me in. I've always wanted to go to Los Angeles just to sit down and do nothing, All right, we got our next gentleman, fantastic guy, Chooks. He's all the way from Kent. Great guy and great, full of so much energy. So we talked about managing people, and I think Bunmi talked about how she deals with negative people. And I want to stress this. Okay, I want to really stress this. If you got a negative person in your team, they'll always see the negative. It's always about me, myself, and I. And it's always negative. But they're very useful. They're very, very useful. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. No matter how useful a negative person is in your team, they do more damage than good. Why? They do more damage to your leadership. They do more damage to your goal and your vision, where you're going, than to the team. The team might manipulate a way to work with that negative person, but that negative person influences the direction of your dream. Where you would have gotten to in 5 years would take you 10 years to get there. So the best thing, just take that bad apple out and start fresh with a new person. you see how everything will just go smoothly, because you want to love and enjoy what you're doing. You want to finish your program or project or event or whatever, and then feel good about what you did. You don't want to just constantly be living around the fear of negativity and the fear of information that will take you on the wrong direction. Don't hang around people with negative energy. They drain your energy. They drain your mind. They drain your thoughts. They drain your happiness and your joy. That's my take on that. Okay, so please don't make the mistakes that we make the mistakes, and so that we can give you feedback and say, listen, I've been there, done that. Okay, so don't go through that. No matter how negative a person is in your group, just do your best to put them at bay and start fresh with people with like minds, not like minds.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, Chooks. How are you? You're live on air.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. The show is back on again.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
The rest days are over. You might want to please turn your volume down. I think you got the volume of your thing up, I think.
Okay, 1 second.
No worries. I just put my sleeves up. Whoa.
I'm just going to pop some. Better?
That's so good. Fantastic. How are you?
Is that better? I'm awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Great stuff, man.
I tell you what, let me just come out quick. You're not hearing the volume, you okay? Am I loud and clear?
But it's still echoing, but I can.
Okay, let me just pop out quick.
Yeah.
Let me just pop out quick.
No worries. So good, man. We're just talking about how to work well with people.
Better?
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm in my enclave now. Great stuff.
So what's up, man? Tell our listeners about you. Although they know so much about you, but for those who are just new,
a regular on the show, yes. Okay, so my name is Chooks, and I'm the CEO and founder of Kent Housing. We are a housing company for. We provide accommodation for like construction companies, film companies.
Amazing.
Pretty much, we provide. It's a hotel in a home. That's what we do. Service departments. Fantastic. So that's what we do in a nutshell.
Okay, so I believe that I've been to your office, so I know you have a team of people working there.
Yes.
So my question is, how do you work well with your team?
I think working well with a team, it's absolutely crucial thing for any business. If you want to be a successful business, you got to have a good team you work with. I mean, one of the ways that I say that I tend to work well with a team is like, now I've just come back. I mean, I was just in the house. I've just gone to see a staff of mine who's been working in the house. They've worked over the weekend and literally tried to deliver a project, and I've taken a drink to him. I've taken a bottle of champagne to him and a card saying thanks a million for all the work. And when I went there, you could see he was saying, what's this for? I thought it's not my birthday. I said, I just want to say thank you for what you did over the weekend. I appreciate you. He was glowing. He wasn't expecting it.
That's sweet. That's really
so
sweet.
You've got to appreciate people. When you appreciate people, honestly, they will come out and fight hard for you.
That's true.
They would work hard for you. So that's one of the key things that I tend to do. And
go ahead.
And the second thing, obviously, as a leader, you've got to show, if you can show that you're working, you're passionate about what you do, other people. Pretty much, it's infectious. Leadership is infectious. When you show you're a leader, you show you're passionate, you're excited. Most times people follow you. You motivate people to follow you. So that's part of what leadership is all about. And getting people to work well with you.
So what would you? We were talking with some few of the guests today, and something that came on that. If you got a member of your team that is very negative, it's always negative. How do you deal with that?
It's a very tough one, because, like I say, one of the key things that I always say when I get negative people in a team, there are two things that you got to do. You got to stop it, or you got to let them go, because negativity is infectious. It's highly infectious. And what negativity does, it can spin every other person in the team. So I've had people that I've had to let go because I said they're not right for the team. So it's either you address it quickly, or you make the decision they've got to go. Yeah, because once you have negativity in your team, it sucks the energy out.
It just drains you, doesn't it? It just drains you.
I mean, it drains you. I mean, if if you keep hearing negative, I mean, I've had scenarios like that. You hear negativity is impossible. It's not possible. Oh, this is happening, and if you're not careful, everyone starts to believe that.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Everyone starts to believe that. Yeah. It's just like what I say is that if a negative person comes into work and they ask, how are you doing? Oh, I've had a bad weekend. The weekend has been horrible. They're grumpy. Automatically, the next person starts feeling like that. Yeah. But if you have someone like when I come into the office, when people say, hey, how was your weekend? I don't say it was okay. I say it was fantastic. It was awesome. People say, why are you saying that? Because it's what you say is what you feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What you say is what you feel. If you say it's not bad, you're already saying bad. Yeah. So really, my circle, most of my circle, they've got energy. Yeah. And positivity has energy. Negativity has energy. So you got to ask yourself, which one do you choose? I choose positive energy. Yeah. Energy that feels impossible nothing is impossible. Yeah. That's the kind of energy I flow through it. Yeah.
Okay. What would you advise for dealing with conflict in a team? How would you advise to deal with conflict if you got within your team members?
I think one of the things that I always say is that dealing with conflicts in a team, what I tend to do is that in my organization, obviously, I appoint someone who is a manager, below me. Yeah, so the manager reports directly to me, and the manager has, say, a team of 4 or 5. Yeah. So what I do, I have a one-to-one with the manager. And they tell me what this is the issue, blah blah blah. I tell them this is the way I think you have to address it. Put the person apart and bring the person into the office and have a chat with them, analyze them, non-judgmental. Don't put any judgment in front of it, and if there's anything that needs to be sorted out, don't be judgmental about it. And if I thought the issue needs to be resolved further, come back to me and I'll tell you what we need to do. So that's kind of how that's
basically
how we
having
do
an open mind and
having an open mind,
each other, basically.
Exactly, and making sure that you meet that person at their own point as well. So it's not just all about us, all about the company, all about you. So you have to also meet that person at their own point. And sometimes it may be the right thing they're saying. I mean, they feel they need to say this, and this is how this makes them feel. And sometimes as a business, you've got to accept that. That sometimes people will see things differently from what you do. So it's so really you've got to be considerate. That's what I always say.
That sounds good. I mean, some of the key points that were raised was to give a clear instruction, to have a smile on your face, what's the importance of having a standard?
Massively crucial. Massively crucial. If you don't have standards in business, in work, you would float. For me, what I always tell my clients, it's we have 2 standards we've got to meet. Your rent paid on time, your house looked after. And that's our unique selling point, and it sells across the board. So everybody understands that. The account team understands that. The maintenance team understands that. You have to have standards. Standards attracts it attracts business, it attracts the right set of people. And when you have standards, and when someone who's substandard comes into a place that is a standard, the difference is clear. You will tell the difference is clear. It's either they exit or you say, no, this is not the place for you. So standards,
and it flows through the team, doesn't it? It flows through the whole team.
Big time. And it's all about leadership. The leader who's myself has to show a very high standard, because leadership, as a leader, everyone is looking down, everyone is looking up to you. Everyone's looking up to you. So if you have high standards, they know your standards, so they follow your standards. So if you look at a football team like Man United, they've got a standard. They know that every year they've got to win some kind of cup, some kind of FA Cup, Champions League. That's a standard. Yeah?
I love the fact that you use my football club. So well done.
Yeah. Okay, I take that back. I'll say Tottenham then.
No way.
Which is my football club. Yeah. I love it.
Thank you so much, Chooks. Unfortunately, our time has run out. It's amazing. Always amazing talking to you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you,
no
bro.
problem. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Wow. An amazing time. It's been an amazing 70 minutes. Wow, I can still go on. This is what I always say. When you do the things that you love, you can do it forever. Okay, please don't ever let anyone tell you that you are not good enough to achieve your dream. Pursue your dream with all that you have. Learn how to work with people. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, I'm terrible with people. You can develop. You can get better. You can examine yourself. Some of our speakers talked today about have a good look at yourself. What is it about me? Because remember, when you point one finger at a person, the other four comes back to you. What is it about me that makes it difficult for people to work with me? What is it about you that makes it difficult for people to work with you? You can't just blame everybody and don't blame yourself. You've got a responsibility to manage a team or the responsibility to be a good member of the team. Listen, you can't always be right. It's not all about you. Okay, just wake up and smell the coffee. It's not all about you all the time. Not at all. It's about the team. It's about what value are you bringing? What contribution are you making? If there's a project to work on, what contribution, what value are you bringing to that team to deliver that project? It's not all about kissing somebody's behind so that they can always know that you are the leader, you are the one that's the smartest of the group. If you find yourself being identified all the time as the smartest in the group, then you're not a team player. Hello? I repeat that again. If you find that every time you're in a team, every time you're in a group, everyone always identifies that, oh, if it wasn't for you, we were not going to win. Or if it wasn't for you, we will not be successful. Then you're not a team player. A team player is somebody in a team who makes the weakest people in the team stronger. When you put a good team player in a team, he makes everybody strong. He lifts everybody up. That's a good team player. Not the one that stands out and wants to shine all the time and get the trophy all the time. Then you're just a selfish member of that team. And I can't work with people like that. I can guarantee you that. If you identify mistakes all the time and you're the person that highlights everyone's mistakes and everyone's error and everyone else is not doing well, but I don't see you put your hands over their shoulders just as much, then you're not a member of that team. A team player has to learn to listen and to genuinely connect with people and make sure that they do their role well. But most importantly, in my book, to work as a good team player, make sure as you're working in that team, you're not pushing anybody down, but you're lifting them up. You're lifting them up. The more you lift everybody up in your team as much as you can, the stronger the organization will be. The stronger the company will recognize you, the quicker they'll recognize you and even give you a promotion or a leadership position so you could do that and be paid for it. But when you think that, oh no, I'm going to bring everybody down, I'm going to, shine, I'm going to use everybody's mistakes to shine and be the hero of the team, then you've missed it completely. My name is Ronnie Jacobs and I love you all so much. And I thank you all for watching our program. I want to thank Bunmi. I want to thank Emily. I want to thank Chooks. I want to thank Esther. I want to thank Julia. And sorry, Joshua, we tried to call, but I think the connection just didn't go right. And as I always say, never let anyone tell you that you cannot achieve your dreams. Nobody has a right to tell you that you are not good enough to achieve the dream that you've set in your mind. If you need any help, please contact any of our guests or send me a message. I look forward to seeing you all soon. And thank you so much for enjoying the show. And thank you all my guests. If you want an amazing show again, we'll go again tomorrow. God bless you. One love.